If seeking an early dissolution to her marriage wasn't stressful enough, White Flowers, as an Ofe of the highest rank, was not accustomed to waiting for anything. The extra time gave her the opportunity to stew over the possibility that her demands on Deville had been excessive. As if just being an Ofe wasn't excessive enough.
I am attorney negotiator H4444. H with 4 4s. Easy to remember.
But I don't understand. Where is my regular negotiator? I have had the same one for 30 years.
He has taken leave and won't return for several months.
Is he ill?
Yes, that is the problem. He is ill.
I hope it's not serious.
They expect a full recovery. I have been assigned to represent you. I have negotiated over 4,000 contracts, and my approval feedback is over 99%. I am very competent, and my fees are standard. As a barrister, I am unable to divulge my immediate genetic donors, but I can assure you I am from the line of Jackie Kennedy. If you wish to further examine my records, it should only be a few more days' delay.
All right. But I am not fully comfortable.
I understand. You should find some solace in knowing that the Solicitor General would never assign you to just any negotiator, as you are a noted female of the highest social order, a spouse of a high secretary, and a genetic donor. I do have excellent news. Secretary Deville has agreed to terminate your contract immediately, as you wished.
Just like that?
Yes, just like that. The Secretary responded most graciously to your request. Are you taken aback by this?
I am now an unmarried woman. I am alone. I know it's what I wanted, but the reality is sobering. I have always been married, and my serenity and charm have always afforded me someone of significant stature. And now, it seems I have some uncertainty.
Your trepidation is ordinary, particularly as your now former spouse is a high secretary. However, your status as a potential wife is nearly unparalleled. Any man of wealth and high order would quickly recognize that you can afford them the opportunity to move to the highest echelons, as Secretary Deville did. Your uncertainty won't last very long, and as it is, you already have a suitor.
Really?
Yes. He's not a politician or a government administrator, but he is a man of significant and great standing. He is a corporate icon with immeasurable wealth and a power broker on a world scale, and he is very smitten.
Oh.
His offer is extremely generous, and his reputation is as a kind and genteel man. Until recently, he has shunned the spotlight, preferring a more private life.
A private life is a lonely life, and loneliness is the most virulent of all cancers.
Yes, you are right. However, for a man of his position to become social, he must have a spouse who is most serene and of extreme class, education, and distinction. Anything less and he would appear ridiculous. I have completed the diligence that would be of professional standards for such an arrangement. His inquiry for marriage is appropriate. Excellent. May I introduce Icon Jimmy Carter?
May I touch you?
Of course.
I saw you at a state function. You were youthful and the wife of a senator.
That was many years ago. I was a child of just 41 years, having finished my education.
And I was a plebe, serving for the caterer. There were hundreds of wives at the ball, but your sereneness, your poise, your fashion stood out clearly. And everyone was drawn to you. And as each one came over to share in your countenance, you spoke to them with articulation and grace on many subjects and in many languages. And people wondered, what manner of man is this obscure senator that he would have such a woman drawn to him? I knew that one day I would be with you, no matter how long it would take. And now, I am prepared to make an offer of matrimony that no citizen female can turn down. Everything you've ever wanted or ever dreamed of wanting will be yours. And everything I've wanted or ever dreamed of wanting will be mine.
You're very generous. I desire a generous man. I am honored to accept your offer and will do so immediately.
This is most excellent. May I assume that your level of interest is high? The corporate icon's negotiator has arrived. I should like to go over the finer points of the agreement to ensure that it's all in accordance with statute.
That would be fine.
I look forward to dinner tonight.
As will I.
When life changes from moment to moment, there are still things you can count on for certain. Like being no honor between thieves, politicians, and men in desperate pursuit of romance.
Woman. The senator is correct. The acquisition of the spouse was to be a tool, to be used as a tool for the insurrection and the icon's ascent to power.
And she shall be. But there's no clause in natural law that states a man should not enjoy his tool.
Certainly this could not all have been an elaborate ruse. The icon feigning insurrection for the purpose of romantic endeavor? One does not trifle with the welfare of the nation state, and one dares not assume authority for the purpose of personal gain. Neither mammon or mammary, sir.
Overly permissive, chaotic, laissez-faire culture we all loathe will be replaced by one of discipline, purpose, and value. The term self-determination will again have meaning, but to the political victor go the political spoils. And as it appears, I will be the political victor. The spoils of my triumph will be my wife.
Your client needs to understand the significance of an insurrection. It's a dangerous game.
My client is fully aware. And like all dangerous games on which we wager, the program lists the players' names and their parts. To know all of the players, one need only obtain the program.
We all survive our own treachery and usher in a new day of hope for the citizens. We now move to to dissolve by coup one government and commission in yet another. New people, new concepts, new ideologies. There will be an analysis frenzy by the media. The victors will give triumphant speeches. The vanquished will languish in their withdrawal. And in a few days, a new morning will break. And everything will be different. 400 million people will awake and barely notice. Because in government, the only lives we truly touch are our own.
Deville, a man whose life had, until this moment, been bound by honor and logic, would dismiss all that he is and has ever been for a few seconds of living his most intimate fantasy.
Did she do it?
It, says she did it.
It?
The lady, or device, claims to be artificial, manufactured.
Interesting.
The military attaché sent a convoy over this morning when the secretary failed to answer his morning call. They checked the privacy camera and they saw her walking back and forth. Since we've been here, she's been sitting there doing that. Evidently, the secretary, she says her name is Roman Numeral X, have just recently married.
I was informed of the marriage, but what about this claim that she's manufactured?
I don't know. She looks ordinary to me. Her behavior is bizarre enough, and she did kill a high secretary.
It could be a clever ruse. She could be setting up a defense of her crime by mental defect, therefore unaccountable.
If she is artificial, what do we do with her? It.
That, my young assistant, is why all research and manufacture of cyborg biomechanical electrical devices is illegal. Therefore, legally cannot be dismantled, and thusly must be treated as human.
I am Harry III, an expert in cyborg biomechanical electrical devices for the nation state.
I am Roman Numeral 10.
What a beautiful name you have. Did you choose it?
I'm not sure.
You were reciting theorems. Why were you doing that?
When I'm not interacting, I find it desirable to maintain a minimal level of both physical and mental functionality.
You get bored. Interesting.
Does being an expert hold you in high society and with substantial financial rewards?
My position is appointed, so I do have some social status. The financial rewards of the position are not that great. But I have been prudent over the years, and I am financially secure. Why do you ask?
I am without spouse currently. As a former spouse of a high secretary, I would be acceptable in most any social situation. And I must say, I have a considerable sexual appetite. If you are amenable to these conditions, my negotiator is H4444.
H with 4 4s. In regards to the High Secretary,
I believe he unfortunately malfunctioned.
his neck is snapped.
A mechanical malfunction.
Yes, possibly. Can you go into stasis, Tan?
Yes, of course. Why, am I irritating the inspectors?
I believe you are.
I can only stay in stasis for a maximum of 2 hours, or I might damage my biological functions.
What if I need to speak to you prior to? Madam Inspector. Generic Inspector.
You are the expert.
Yes.
Is she in it?
It is a wonderful work of manufacturing art created by genius.
Criminal genius.
That would be for others to determine. But Tan would seem to be the ultimate in contraband.
Did it do it?
Yes, I believe she did. Though as expected, she, Tan, has no recollection as to what happened. Tan was likely pre-programmed to wipe those banks of memory clean when the mission was accomplished. It, is of the opinion that the secretary had a structural defect.
So she knows what it is.
Oh, certainly. She even thinks it is normal to be that way.
Wait a minute. Can't you retrieve deleted files from memory banks through special reconstructive processes?
Of course, but to do so would be to alter, perhaps destroy her biological functions. As she is clearly sentient, that would be a clear violation of national law. As I understand the statutes, of course, I'm not judiciary.
You interpret the statutes correctly. It would indeed be paramount to state-sanctioned murder. Still, it seems to constitute a risk on the part of the assassateurs.
You mean not to have Tan totally self-destruct after the mission was accomplished? I see the answer to that is simple enough. Tan's creator understood the statutes as the inspector does. And if you were the engineer of such a being, would you want it destroyed?
So now what? What do we do with this thing?
If I may suggest, I have a secure and comfortable facility. It would behoove the nation state to have an expert do complete and extensive study on the device for future reference and security. If the inspector agrees that such a disposition is in the best interest of the nation state, then I would accept that responsibility.
Is 10 amenable to that plan?
I believe she is.
It seems like a reasonable alternative. I will inform the Secretary of Security staff of 10's disposition.
It seems to me that the disposition of 10 should be decided by the judiciary and not by the field inspector, even if she holds a high rank.
It is within my charter to interpret the statutes and to make decisions concerning the disposition of a perpetrator when both the statutes and the perpetrator are clear. And in this case, they are both very clear.
Then the assassinateur will never be known?
They'll be known to us.
How can that happen if you do not investigate the conspiracy that created 10?
If you do not investigate, the assassateurs will be those who bring you a healthy promotion. If you do investigate, the assassateurs will be those who bring you an urn for your ashes.
As 10 is now sentient, its illegal manufacture would be of no consequence. It would have the rights of a citizen. No prejudice could be levied against it.